Yo guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we have something a little bit different from what we normally do. I figured we could look at the video that Lethamyr posted where he is coaching Cbell in his journey to SSL. And yeah, and I figured it could be a good idea where I could react to this. You know, we can call it a RocketInsight Reacts type of video. I'm not sure if we'll make this a type of series where we react to other Rocket League content, but I don't think I will be doing it too much simply because I don't think there is a lot of Rocket League content that you can actually react to from an educational perspective. But if there's anything that you guys would like me to react to, then please let me know down in the comments. So the structure for this video is I'm not going to do this video in the sense that we will listen to Lethamyr make his observation and analysis, and then I will then come in and give my analysis and observation. I think it's because Lethamyr is obviously a really high, well, used to be a pro player, right? So a lot of the analysis that he is going to make, I assume is going to be correct. So if we just basically listen to Lethamyr give his analysis, then it doesn't really leave any room for me to give my analysis, since I will probably simply just agree with what he's saying for the most part, for obvious reasons. So I think the best way to approach this type of React video is I will watch the video, give my own analysis on the certain clips that Lethamyr shows in this video, and then I will then go back, hear what Lethamyr has to say, and see if it kind of aligns with my perspective or if it's a different perspective. Now, I've watched the first few minutes of this video, but I've skipped to this part, which I have not seen, because I believe this is the part where he actually analyzes, and the first 15 minutes or so is basically him. Well, I think it's basically him just talking to Cbell while Cbell plays a few games or something, or just looks at, I don't know, I wasn't really sure. But I knew that this is the part where he actually analyzes the replays and the games that were played by Cbell. So I thought this could be a good starting point. So yep, let's jump in and see what this video is like. All right, so we're going to begin. We're going to mute the video, so I don't want to hear the input that Lethamyr has. We'll see the clip. I'll give my input, and then we'll see what Leth has to say. Okay, so here Cbell goes for the kickoff here. Second man doesn't cheat as much. Obviously, I am limited with what I can do here because obviously it's a YouTube video, so I don't have much control over the actual replay function. But teammate doesn't cheat hard as much as the opponent's second man does, which puts them in a really bad position. Here, I always stress that if you lose the kickoff and the kickoff's going towards your side of the field, so if you're losing a kickoff or the ball kind of arrives like around this side or towards this side, then generally speaking, you want to go back as quickly as possible, grab this boost if you have time. If not, just turn back around and play around mid, maybe grab 1 or 2 pads. If you can, play around mid and kind of support mate, simply because we know that immediately mate is going to be in a bad and sticky situation, should we say. So let's see here. So he opts to go for mid boost. So had we rotated this way, we maybe would have had a chance to maybe support mate, but let's just see what happens here. So he goes for mid boost. Okay, it's a very awkward bounce, especially off the post here. Mate is probably in a panicky situation. He doesn't know where the second man is. So this is really tough. I think just from the offset of the kickoff, it just wasn't great. So by now, I think Cbell would have been like somewhere here maybe if he had just rotated like this, grabbed those 2 pads maybe. So let's imagine that Cbell is here at the moment and see what happens. So mate does panic, but I expect this is to be expected, right? It's just because you don't know what's behind you. You have no boost. It's hitting the crossbar. It's bouncing down. It's just, you don't know if the second man is about to come and shoot. So panicking here does it makes sense. Not to say that they should have panicked. They probably could have controlled it, tried to play for a 50. But I'm just saying that it's definitely understandable to see why, especially at this rank, why they would panic here. And then, oh wow, he actually misses that shot. That's kind of crazy. All right, so Cloudy just misses an open net. But I want to see if hold on, guys. I want to see if Cbell did rotate the way I thought he could have rotated. Yeah. I'm thinking perhaps if Cbell had rotated like this and kind of supporting mate here and here, I'm thinking maybe when his mate panic clears this ball, oops, that's a really bad arrow. Panic clears this ball, and then when the opponent comes, maybe Cbell can kind of get in front and block the shot to begin with. Maybe. I wouldn't know. I'll need to use jump and replay to figure out if that's possible or not. But it's just an idea, right? Either way, he does miss. So that was super surprising here. I will say that. All right, so that's my analysis. That's my take on it. Let's see what Lethamyr has to say about it.
Hard to try to explain what I was doing and play.
Yeah, I mean that was crazy. I think like already like I'm not going to talk about like other teammates, but like this guy should have stayed close to this. Okay,
so Lethamyr opts to. I don't think I'll keep on playing the video, but he doesn't really mention about Cbell's rotation instead of getting mid boost, kind of playing along the pads because mate is in a sticky situation. But like I said, my suggestion doesn't mean it's 100% going to work. I don't know. I haven't tested it. It's just an idea. He suggests that mate shouldn't have panicked. This is really hard because it's very, very natural to. I think it's very natural to panic here. Let me have one more look. Let's have a little look again. So this happens, and he has 5 boosts too, right? So at this point, you're thinking the opponent is going to come right now and just shoot this ball. And then, I don't know. He should have definitely stayed close to this. But I think he flips here because he thinks the opponent is going to dunk him and he just wants to get a 50 or something. I don't know. In my humble opinion, I think criticizing mate here for doing this flip away is a bit harsh. I do think it's a little bit harsh. But you know, I'm not like pro level, so maybe from Lethamyr's mind at the top level, they wouldn't do this. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the mate here should have definitely taken his time, or do you think clearing the ball did make sense, although it almost led to basically should have been a goal? So yeah,
instead of flipping out because he let go of the ball, so like he should stay behind it, which I think you were doing a pretty good job of, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, so I think Lethamyr kind of just moved past that. All right, let's move on to the next clip. See what was the next segment.
Because he let go of the ball, so like he should stay behind it, which I think you were doing.
All right, let me mute it here. So here's the next segment. So here Cbell hits the ball. Opponent spawns far away. Cbell has a really good angle to view the opponent to see if he's coming or not. Okay, hold on. So the opponent does come, but he's still far away. So yeah, I'm not too sure. So here there was no reason for Cbell to jump here. Because if you look back one more time, it made no sense for Cbell. So look, so Cbell lands, opponent is coming, but he's still like miles away, right? So even if he does keep on charging, you can still drive up to this ball with boost and just do like a 50, no problem. I think we just jump. I think we panic or something or whatever it may be. We jump way too early here, and then obviously our touch isn't great, which then leads Oil to just boom the ball away or something. So I'm assuming Leth is going to say the same thing here because that was pretty straightforward. I think let's have a look, guys.
In this situation right here, you're hitting the ball slightly forward. Your teammate was still getting boost, so you hit it pretty far, and you're seeing the opponent go towards it. So you're already jumping before, but like you could stay on the ground here. You don't need to get, because you just gave the ball away.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that's not even like that just makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I'm not. There's really nothing much to say that that just makes total sense. So yeah.
If he's gonna give the ball away by hitting it because he's rushing to you, let him. Because you know what I mean. He just did what I want you to kind of do, where he's kind of posturing back here, like in a position. He's pushing forward a little bit on the ball, but he's not actually like fully committing. Meanwhile, you have the speed and the positioning where the opponent's teammate is way over here. So he's kind of last man here. So in this situation, it's a 1-2 play where he's last man, but you're first man. So you have the advantage already.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point that I didn't notice straight away. My perspective was that he just had a lot of time in general. But here, we don't have to be too afraid of this opponent challenging so hard because, as Left said, he is last man. So there's a lot of responsibility. And if he challenges too early and, Cbell gets it over him, then he knows that it's going to be a goal. So naturally, as the last man, you would just not dive challenge here. You would probably try to do a fake challenge, and it's a case of just understanding that, as Left said, that you have the advantage. So that's a great point. Yeah, that's a fantastic point made by Left. I definitely agree there.
Makes sense. So like in this situation,
it comes with like the notion too, like he's last man, he might not want to challenge too.
100%. So he's going to be probably playing a little more patiently.
All right, so this is the next clip. I'm gonna just mute it so I can have my own intake and see what this clip is about. So Cbell, both opponents are back. Usually when both opponents are back and you're in this situation, you can go for an aerial play, 59 boost. It's doable, but with both opponents back, it's going to be difficult to make something. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, he opts to go low, which I think is fine. I don't think it's fine. He takes a touch to the left, which I think is also pretty good. So here, I mean, I'm not too sure what Leth would say about this instance. I don't think there was much he could have done here. Oh wait, I think I went back too far. So here, he drops down. This is good. This is a good touch. He takes it up the wall. He just have 39 boost. I'm not sure about jumping here though with 39 boost. It's because it's very difficult to make something happen. You could try to play a pass here like this. Ideally, what would happen is Cloudy would, so in this kind of position, Oil is in the correct position to cover anything kind of going across like this. And then Cloudy would try to position a bit more forward so that if Cbell tries to pass it out, he can kind of just push and 50 this guy in the middle. But I mean, I don't see too much what else could be that Cbell could have done differently here. Let's see if Left goes back. So here, so he still doesn't go back. So he's still, the play is still continuing. So let's see here. All right, grabbing pads. This is excellent. Not leaving the play here. Grabbing the pad, staying close to mate, facing the 50, which is good. Okay, this is still fine. I don't really see anything wrong so far. Grab the boost. Ooh, okay. So here, let's see what happened here. So this is one of those awkward ones, I will be honest. So here, okay, so what happens here is that, okay, so obviously it's not the touch that Cbell wanted. Well, I'm assuming that's not the touch that he wanted. So what happened here is that Cbell ends up taking an incorrect touch that eventually just gives the ball to Cloudy, who has so much time, who's going to have so much time on this ball to push it forward against a teammate that's not really positioned really, really well. Now, going up for the ball and taking a touch here isn't bad, but it's not a very easy mechanical play. So let me show you guys what I mean here. Let me go back. So with these kind of balls, the way you want to try and approach this ball here is when you jump like this. Let me show you guys. Again, I really wish I had jump in replay to show you guys. But when you jump like this, when the ball's coming kind of like this way, and your momentum is also going away from the ball, you need to jump away from the ball but you need to also air roll your car so that your nose, so pretend this is your car, right? You kind of air roll so that your car, these little wheels, this is your nose. So this little bar is your nose. And then your nose is like this. So you kind of just air roll your car. So in this case, you would use bottom left air roll, like analog stick bottom left, while using air roll left will get your car from this to this over here. And then when the ball's coming towards your nose, you then flip. You use your flip, and what happens is then cancels the ball's momentum, and it also stops your car from being pushed backwards. And then what happens is you kind of get a really nice control in the middle where the ball speed has kind of died down, and your car hasn't really been pushed too far back because you flip. It's probably going to be a front flip cancel, so that way your car's orientation is still facing upwards. And then that way you just air dribble, try to go for a reset after. It's a pretty advanced mechanical play. If you watch like Keppert's dodge control videos, you'll have a better insight as to what I mean by taking this kind of. So that would have been the best kind of mechanical play to do here. But let's take a look at what Leth has to say.
This touch here was a little rough because it's going to be something you have to like basically force back to your teammate.
Wait, hold on. I'm not too sure what he meant by that. Let me go back. Let me just go
Meanwhile,
back.
Like it was kind of something you have to like basically force back.
It's a touch that you have to force back to your teammate. I didn't think about that. I will be honest. So does he mean it's a touch that you have to force back to your teammate? So just instead of hitting the ball like this, just follow it and then just hit the ball down to mate somewhere over here. I guess you could, yeah. I mean, the only thing I would be scared of is that I think that might take a little bit of time to just hit it down nicely to your teammate, and then by then I would be afraid of getting demoed here and not having the time to do that. But then again, if you do get demoed, the ball is going to be dropping towards this little like the ramp over here, which then your mate is going to be closer to getting it. So getting demoed might not be too bad. But then again, if your mate does get the ball here, it's not a threatening play, so your mate is not going to have any kind of support and is very, very unlikely to score. Let's just continue and see what Leth says.
To your teammate. Meanwhile, like it was kind of already awkward for this guy. If you like look from his perspective, you take his boost and now he's like no boost. So you're kind of doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah, basically passing it to, because his teammate would have wanted to pass it to Cloudy. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. I said, yeah, you're right. Like I'm speaking to that. Well, yeah, he's right there.
Touching that, which made them get a play down the field. So instead, you could have just like kept it awkward on the wall. They have to sort of push forward. And the more in the situation that you have the opponent with zero boost push out of their net, the better. Because if you can get Smiling Drum there to take the mid boost, and now this guy is like, I don't know what to do. I got to go back and find pads. There's so much more time that the ball would have spilled down here. Like Smiling Drum could have turned and taken the ball forward. Meanwhile, this guy, that Cloudy that does have boost, would have been first man, while this guy's already like kind of going back for boost pads. And in that situation, if Cloudy gets outplayed by another player who has full boost and has control of the ball, then this guy's going to be panicking with low boost at the back end and try to like make a bad save.
Yeah, okay.
I know that's a lot of forward thinking.
No, that makes a lot more sense. So that's what he meant by dropping it to teammate. And yeah, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think of that. And my idea was to just take a controlled mechanical touch with the play, and then let Smiling Drum, his teammate, push forward as he's doing the mechanical play in the air. But if we're taking out mechanics and just focusing on pure game sense and positional play, then yeah, I think that would have been a great idea, definitely.
But just knowing kind of what the opponents have boost wise is going to make a big difference in how you can pressure the opponents.
All right, so this is the next clip. Let me just go back a little bit here. All right, so this is the next clip. So what do we have here? We have Smiling Drum, no boost, going for a flick. Both opponents are back, so this is good positioning. You're not expecting a goal to really happen from this. You're expecting both opponents to do a good job. One thing I'm curious to see is what Cbell does, knowing that his mate has no boost. Is he going to buy him time? Is he going to rush the challenge? Well, you know, I have no idea what's going to happen next. So let's just find out together. So he makes a flick. Yeah, this is good positioning by Cbell. They clear the ball. Yep. Oh, that's a really rough bounce. Let's see what he does here. He goes for it instantly. Rough 50. Let's see how we could have done this better. I mean, the bounce was just really, really awkward, I will be honest. So he turns and he goes for this. Okay. Yeah. So here it's very, very simple. I think from my perspective is that the 50 was really, really rough because of the air roll. You'll see what I mean in a second. So look, when he goes up here, right? Let me see if I can slow this down for you guys. Playback speed. I'm not too sure. Let's just put it to like 0.5. Look, I want you guys to look at the boost, right? So right now his boost, with this boost, he's going this way, which is okay because now you're kind of aligning yourself with the ball here, right? So this is not a big deal. So look, he's aligning himself. This is good. So if he keeps this trajectory with no air roll, it means that his boost is going to carry him straight to this ball without any kind of inefficiency, should I say. But now look, so when he air rolls, look what happens. All of a sudden, his car's momentum, the speed going forward has been decreased and it's kind of going up towards like the ceiling, right? So this means that he's all of a sudden losing milliseconds to get to this ball quicker, right? So he air rolls, and now here his nose is not pointing towards the ball. Where is it pointing? It's pointing up, which means that the boost is trying to push him towards the ceiling and not too much towards the ball. So his nose needed to be angled a bit like this so that it's rocketing right up to the ball here. And now here, right? It's every time I do a freeze frame, look at the boost and think to yourself, if he boosts in this exact direction, where is the car going to go? Well, it's going to go kind of like this way, right? And so all of this inefficiency is what's causing him to get to the ball later than usual. And now look. Now, I mean, look at this car position. You're not going to be able to get a really good 50. But if you look at the oils car, look at this. This is directly towards the ball. And this is why sometimes over air rolling can be detrimental to getting to the ball as quickly as possible. And then it leads to a bad 50 here. So that's my observation so far. Obviously, no idea what Leth is going to say, if he's going to mention that at all. But let's see if the clip continues. So let's keep going. He takes boost. There's a 50 here. And yeah, I mean, let me go back one more time just to double check. So 50. And Smiling Drum gets the ball, which is obviously good. He's pointing back, this is still good. The reason being is because normally you want to face the 50, but this one's a bit of a how do I say this? It's a bit of a risky one because if you face the 50 and your mate doesn't get a good 50, the problem is that Oil's already in an attacking position. So if the ball comes to him, he's going to score really, really quickly, and it's going to take you longer to turn and defend. So playing it safe by facing this way makes sense. But if, let's say, Oil was like back here somewhere, then you want to face the 50, because if your mate loses the 50, then the teammate is far away. You'll be able to turn and get to the ball really, really quickly. So this makes sense. Smiling Drum teammate gets a really, really good 50, and then obviously gives Cbell the open net. So let's see what they say. Well, let's see what Left says.
I think the only goal you guys scored though in this,
I'm not too sure if he is going to talk about it. Let's see.
Yeah, I think so.
So everything was good leading up to having the first goal, and I think at this point I'm thinking like I have to assume that they might change things up because they're adapting to like they need to score, and they might play it a little differently because you can totally play.
Okay, so it looks like he didn't mention anything about like going the air roll, like limiting his air roll spins. Okay, that's interesting. But that was my observation. So yeah, maybe I'm just nitpicking and Leth is just trying to go for like what's the bigger picture, should I
Rocket League
say?
where you're like playing just the goal, like just the goal lead.
Yeah,
So-
there's I don't really switch up game style too much unless like we're kind of in the last maybe 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so Cbell said he doesn't switch up the game, adapting the game as much as he should. I think that's pretty common. It's pretty common just to autopilot, I think. But I do think it's a good habit. I would say that changing up the play is definitely something that needs to be done, whether you need to slow it down. But I think the hardest thing to learn in Rocket League is to know when to slow down and then know when to pick up the speed. Usually, what happens is that people tend to play quite linear. So they play really, really fast the entire game or really, really slow the entire game and not really developing the skill of, okay, now it's time to pick up the speed. Now it's time to slow it down. And I'll be honest, a lot of your decision making is going to be down to your teammate. So if your teammate is going to be playing really, really slow, then you need to be also very careful as to when you decide to go fast and whether your teammate can keep up. And obviously, the opposite is also true. So yeah.
You know.
So yeah, I think it's important to just think about how you're adapting to each play. This is a decent 50.
Oh wait, is this the next segment? I felt like this was one continuous clip. So I'm just gonna pause it and just see what happens here because he went back, and the fact that he went back means that he noticed something. So I want to see if I can notice it myself. The smiling drum goes for a shot here. We take the corner boost, which is fine. So we're last man, so we have to be pretty careful here, I think. Cloudy goes up for this ball. Doesn't look like he's going to do much with this ball, depending on his first touch. But the ball's going this way, I think, and he's going this way too. So it's going to be very difficult for him to get anything on target here. So I would probably just stay grounded, let him waste a bit of boost. Let's see what Cbell. Oh wait, is he talking? Wait, I can't remember what Cbell did. Oh, let's just see what he says.
On like hitting this ball to the side. Like, what are you trying to do with the touch? Are you trying to beat this guy?
Yeah, I was just trying.
Okay, so I think Cbell did go for this ball. Okay, which he shouldn't have because there was no. I mean, I can see the logic, right? I think before Cbell answers, I think he was trying to, if he could get a beat to this guy, he's thinking mate is going to come back around and maybe go for the shot. But you're expecting oil to be there in time, right? So I understand the logic, but I think it's not very efficient play.
Trying to time it where if Cloudy hesitates at all, if I get up there, I can probably get a 50 and knock it down into their side and just keep the pressure
So
going.
I want to ask you what is the accomplishment of hitting that over to this wall?
Yeah, I think it was just to try to keep it over there on their half so we could continue kind of cycling in and out.
So that's
hopefully
kind
burning
of
their
what I
boost.
want to highlight is like sometimes like, yeah, we have a line here in the middle that determines whether it's blue or orange side, but you shouldn't think about sides so much as like just this means more pressure.
Interesting. That's really, really interesting. I'm not gonna comment on that. I'd rather let Leth finish what he has to say.
Right? Whereas like think about the field as a full thing you can utilize rather than like being on this side means equals like good. You know what I mean? I like so when you see this guy like waste 60 boost to make a touch that goes over here and lands to nothing, that's an advantage that you now have. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective. I never really thought of thinking of it like that. Yeah, I don't really have much to say, as in like just something that's really interesting. So his idea is that don't think of the opponent side as like the side that you always need to be on, but rather use the whole field as much as you can. I think you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to link this back to actual actual soccer. Like I watch a lot of Premier League football, and I watch the likes, if you guys know in the comments, Premier League football. I watch the likes of like Manchester City, Liverpool, and a lot of the way they play is something called high press. And what they do is they basically try to trap their opponents on their side while just basically, well, in Rocket League terms, it would be the logic of trying to grab his boost starving them, putting so much pressure on them, and then scoring. And they do that really, really well. And they always try to play on the opponent's side of the field. So I find that really interesting that he says that you don't need to do that. I think maybe what he's trying to say is understanding that you can just let the opponents kind of mess up, and then it's okay with recycling the ball. And I think that's what he's trying to get at, which they do tend to do in top level like soccer and football. They do tend to recycle the ball when the opponents um, are trying to get out, or when they do receive the ball, they try to recycle it if there's no opportunity being presented. Um, I don't know. I just find that really interesting. I want to know what you guys think in the comments about that. That's something I really would like to discuss.
So beating a player just to hit it off a wall where your teammate is rotating, he just got the back corner boost. He's going to be rotating this way wide and probably
Yeah, I don't think the back corner boost is there because I'm pretty sure Cbell took the back corner boost. So he might even have no boost. He might be going to the mid boost instead.
coming back around this way. He will not be the first player to this.
True. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mentioned before, right? I think we did say that oil might get there before anyway. So going for this ball, yeah, it makes total sense not to go for this
Oil
ball.
will be. So even if you beat him, you're actually not giving yourself an advantage. Meanwhile, you're now committed with the boost you've used to be on their side and low. So look at the touch he makes. He gets the full boost and you don't, and now his teammate's on the play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, you could say like, oh, if I beat him, it would have been fine. But regardless, it wasn't the best net positive.
Yeah, and if he because if he does beat him, then it just bounces off the wall, and oil just gets a 1v1 against your teammates. So yeah, he's right there.
Play. Instead, stay close, monitor what he's doing, then take the boost pad in the way here, take that boost. It'll land here. This guy will have no boost, and even if he stays pressured on the ball, like he's not going to be able to do much because he's very, very low boost. So in that situation, you've already made a way better play. You've made it awkward where Oil has to follow up his teammate's play, and he was like sort of 30 boost. You don't know that. I mean, you're going to be hopefully monitoring boost a little bit, but in sort of forcing them into a play where they're uncomfortable, the more you can do that, the better. Oil puts on a really, really poor shot, so it's not an end of the world. And here's where I said it was open.
Okay. What do you mean? Because obviously, I never watched what happened before. Does he not shoot this?
So, see how wide Oil is?
Wait, does he not shoot this? I thought he was going to shoot this.
Yeah.
So right here is just a shot towards target, and it's sort of just it's just noticing those moments where it's like it immediately flicks in my head like, okay, go shoot, right? So that's kind of what I try to do, is think like how.
I think that's something that's really hard to coach. I think that's just something you just have to notice. And the more you kind of force your brain to notice these situations, the more it will eventually happen subconsciously. Because even Cbell knows now that he sees it. But sometimes when you're in the game and you're in the moment, it can be something that can be, I wouldn't say quite easy to oversee, but I don't know. But you guys get my point. I don't know what word I'm trying to say here, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
How open is a shot? How open is my position?
Oh, he goes for an aerial play.
In every single situation. You did okay to keep it really awkward in the corner there, so it didn't like spill back.
Okay, so he goes for mid boost here.
Back out. Regardless.
Okay, so Smiling Drum doesn't have pressure. So here in this situation, going backwards like this is good. This is good. Here you're just you're hoping that Smiling Drum will get some sort of bump, a demo or something here. But if not, you just gotta defend this area.
But yeah, definitely just keep an eye on.
So yeah, so now
like how people are rotating and where.
Okay, now he needs to jump now, I think. But it's difficult. It's really difficult because if you jump now and he gets a reset, he can just pop it right over you. If you don't jump now and he continues to air dribble, it's going to be really awkward to save. Let's see what happens.
Where the position is here.
Yeah. So he does decide to air dribble. But it's hard. I think these situations, I don't think they're too easy to save, I think.
Now, your teammate did try to rush him here. I'd say a little bit flat-footed, but I wouldn't say like.
Okay, let's see if Lefts might give some sort of good advice of how to save this.
I mean to jump. I mean maybe go backboard here.
Oh, backboard.
Now, your teammate did try to rush him here.
Oh, so here he means go right now. So here, go to backboard. You could go. Oh, this is to me, this is still difficult. So the fear that I have is if we go backboard here, like we rush the backboard, what happens is that Cloudy can just like basically fake air dribble where you don't really use any boost, and what happens that you start to descend really, really quickly. And the biggest weakness of a backboard player is when you play it low. So for example, if Cbell tries to go backboard, and then Cloudy notices that he's going backboard and he starts to descend from now. So from now, he turns off his boost and he kind of just fake air dribbles behind the ball and he's going lower and lower and lower. You can jump off the backboard and save it, but I don't know. I just feel like Cloudy has so many options. He can go for a reset and air dribble. He can play it low. That it just makes defending all of those options really, really tough. I think this is a situation where you're expected to score more so than you are expected to save it. In my opinion.
I say a little bit flat-footed, but I wouldn't say like I mean to jump. I mean maybe go backboard here and drive up the.
Yeah, I mean left to say maybe because it is all these options are basically maybes at this point.
Wall. But also just a little bit like watching and sort of passively watching what they were doing. It's not the worst.
Yeah, see, he also acknowledges that it's just one of those situations where there's too many options to cover, and if you save it, then it's really, really good.
It was sort of like a 1v1 opportunity for the opponent, but really good. Honestly, that's a good play from them, and you baited it out perfectly. They hit the crossbar.
Okay, that clip was way too quick for me to have any kind of input. So yeah, I can't really react to that. I think that's too quick for my reaction skills.
Instead.
So yeah.
Let your teammate go for this.
Going back for boost here.
Honestly, that's a good play from them, and you baited it out.
I think it was okay to go back. Let me see. Let me see one more time. So here, 19 boost. Probably not use the 9. I probably not use any boost. I probably just turn around. So like as I'm going here, I have 19 boost. I see my teammate is gonna go for a 50 or something. I'll probably just turn around, try to grab any pads around me, even if it's 1 or 2 more, and then see what happens. Let's see what happens. So yeah. Actually no, let's mute it. So he goes for the corner boost. This is what I don't like though, right? You go for the corner boost and you're just so far away from the play that if anything were to happen, it's just you have no impact. But had you grabbed, so for example, had Cbell did what we mentioned, right? Like so here, well, not even here, it was like somewhere here, right? And then Drum's going to go for the ball. He booms it. You can go drive here, grab was 1 or 2 pads, and then you're going to be on like 40 boost. And you never know, right? If they whiff or something, you can then score. So in the end, nothing really comes out of it. So let's see. Actually, no, let's continue. Oh no, never mind. Letter's talking, so let's go back and see what he has to say.
Far instead. Let your teammate go for this. Perfect. Like this is totally fine that you go for the back corner.
Okay, so he says it's totally fine. Okay, I mean, I guess I think it's just no harm in just grabbing pads. Honestly, you'll be on like 30-40 boost and you're in the play and nothing comes out of it. Like, for example, we saw that the ball gets boomed this way. Then, if nothing comes out of it and you got 40 boost, you can just use your boost to grab this boost. Or if it's somewhere over here, you can just go and grab this boost. So in the end, you're still going to get boost, but you just kept yourself in the play whilst getting the boost. Whereas this one, you're getting the boost while you're not in the play. Because the biggest fear I have is, like if this is like a really awkward, like he booms it, but imagine it's a type of bounce where like it drops down like a waterfall bounce, and then Cloudy turns and picks up the ball, and then all of a sudden he has a 1v1 dribble. He can flick it, he can air dribble bump. So this I would humbly disagree with going for the back corner boost here.
Like nothing is gonna be like. I think you were like really worried that you're not gonna be able to like be on the ball.
When I mentioned that.
Yeah, you mentioned something about that where it's like I really think that right now the goal isn't to get a goal right now.
Interesting perspective. The goal isn't really to get a goal. That is true because nothing really came out of it. But I do think the goal should be to maintain presence, even if it's just showing yourself, even if it's like a fake challenge or something. Just I think a lot of pressure can kind of force mistakes too. So I don't know. I think we can just agree to disagree on that point. So yeah.
Like that's what I was talking about before, is sort of just playing the steps here. And here,
He paused on this. I know I'm kind of cheating
think about-
here because it's giving me a clue as to what he wants to talk about. But let me have a little look myself. So the ball comes here. Okay, so I'm assuming Left is going to say we don't need to jump for this. We can probably let it come down to us. The scary thing is that if we let the ball come down to us, then obviously there's a potential demo here. Where if you go up in the air, then you can avoid the demo, but it's hard to get a really good touch. So it could just bounce off the wall and come back to oil for an open net. So let me have a look one more time just to make sure. So the ball bounces here. He hits it. I think this is a tough one, I think I don't know. I think going up for it is good as long as you can take a really nice touch, like a really soft touch that allows you to get a follow up, then it's okay. I think if you stay grounded here and let the ball come to you, I think it's just a bit scary. I'm going to be honest. I think it's scary knowing that Cloudy with supersonic speed is going to be rushing at you as you wait for the ball to drop. And if he kills you, it's 100% going to be a goal. Let's see what Left says. I'm really interested.
Steps here. And here, you got to think about why you're jumping whenever you go for the ball.
So here I would say that to avoid a demo, had I just taken, if I was grounded, that would be my answer.
Are you trying to beat him? Do you think he's going to 50 you? Do you think he's going to shoot at target? Like right now he's on the ground, he's on the ramp, which anytime a player is in this zone, just assume they can't really jump because this is a very awkward spot where like...
Oh, I know, but that's, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not at this level, so it's easy for me to say that's, but when the ball's up in the air, it's that's super hard to notice that no one's going to jump because they are on the ramp. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but I would never think of that. That's next level for me.
Like their momentum's going down towards the ground, so they can't really land properly, and their suspension's going to pop them out like that way instead of upwards. So there's no real need to try to beat him here because once again, if you have the ball coming towards your side and he does 50 you and you're further like back here towards the back wall.
I think I would have liked Left to ask Cbell why he jumped for this. It feels like he kind of assumed why he jumped for this, as in like he wants to beat the guy. I don't know. I don't know if I missed it. Maybe I missed it, but I think asking Cbell, like, why did you jump for this? Hear what Cbell has to say. I felt like Left just kind of jumped to a conclusion where he said that he's trying to beat the guy. Because in my case, it feels like just you want to just control it in the air. For me, the biggest thing for me is just demo. If I let it drop and try to control it on the ground, I can't help but feel like Cloudy's gonna smash into my car. Because this ball doesn't look like it's gonna be landing anytime soon. So let's continue.
The 50 will pinch out off the backboard, and that'll be good for you guys if they're like pushing up, because oil is pretty pushed up, and right now Smiling is in the middle of dealing with the other player.
Yeah, look, so if the ball hasn't even landed, and look how close Cloudy is. Wait, let me go back and hear what he had to say one more time, guys. If you don't mind.
So there's no real need to try to beat him here because once again, if you have the ball coming towards your side and he does 50 you and you're further like back here towards the back wall, the 50 will pinch out off the backboard, and that'll be good for you guys.
So here he's saying if he does 50, but thing is, I don't know. I don't even know if a 50 is even possible. Because when by the time the ball is still like in the air, Cloudy is already right next to him, so he won't have time for the ball to drop to get a 50 because Cloudy would have demoed him by then.
If they're like pushing up, because oil is pretty pushed up, and right now Smiling is in the middle of dealing with the other player. He's trying
like here, right? The ball still hasn't landed, and look how close cloudy is. So if we had just waited, I don't see how a 50 is possible. Like I don't see how it's possible for the ball to drop, to take a touch, and not get demoed before before the ball even drops to get a 50 to begin with. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't see this. This is the probably the first one that I don't really see the logic a little bit.
Trying to bump him. And I really think that smiling could have been like,
Yeah, this is 100%. Mate needs to block this shot 100% without even me seeing the clip. I think Cbell did good. Your mate should read the touch that you're going for. The fact that you're going to go for an aerial, it's going to bounce off the wall, likely position close, and just 50 oil, and everything should be okay.
I'm gonna say like your teammate could have been more ready.
Okay, so
this?
he didn't.
Because in my position, I'm watching that my teammate jumped.
Yep, 100%. And I think this is fine by Cbell, in my honest opinion. Maybe you could have taken, maybe you could have taken a better control touch, but still okay.
And right now
and then, yeah, I know Cbell's going to say the same thing as, well, I'm going to say the same thing as Cbell. Just turn, immediately jump. This happens so much, and I don't know why this happens, especially like GCs. Whenever there's a ball bouncing like this, and you know there's a last man back, a lot of the times what people do is they turn and they think they can control the ball. But they don't think that the opponent can just come and just shoot. And I always say, okay, I would rather you just turn and boom the ball, right? And lose possession than for you to risk taking a touch and then get dunked and it goes in. Because if you clear the ball here, the opponent needs to run back. You can then follow the trajectory of your boom and chase the last man who's receiving the ball, and the Cbell will come and support you, and then automatically you're applying pressure. So here, oops, let me unmute, sorry.
Here, he did a wide turn, and so I wouldn't say it's all on you there. Like it's obviously a team effort to like get scored on.
Yeah,
in that situation.
Yeah, just jump. If teammate jumps here, it's fine. Everything is perfectly fine here.
And I think he should have been like a little bit quicker. And
I really don't understand why people don't jump there. It happens so many times around like GC2 lobbies, and it's like I don't know. I really don't know. It kind of frustrates me. I will
there. So, not the end of the world that you made that touch. It could have been accounted for, but I think that it didn't need to be jumped at in the first place. Let's see what happened here.
All right, guys. I think I'll wrap up the video. I just noticed the time. It's pretty long, so I think I will leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you'd like to see more React videos, although I do not have an idea of what it is you would like me to react to. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yep, I'll catch you guys on the next video.